tonight. We just came from the press screening for Renfield.
Yes.
Before we get started, please hit a like and a subscribe. You know, the old YouTube stuff. It will be very handy.
Maybe
It's
leave
easy.
a comment.
It's quick and easy, and just do it. Tell us if you're looking forward to this movie, because many people have. We did a special advance screening with UIP with some ticket giveaways, and they went very quickly. So some people were unfortunately disappointed because we couldn't accommodate everyone.
Yeah.
But
before we start, I actually want to mention a movie that we watched Sunday.
yeah, some more of the regular movies we watch. It's actually also on circuit from the 14th, from Friday the 14th of
Yes,
April.
the movie.
So same day as Renfield.
The movie is called Spinning Gold, and it's about the life of
Neil Bogart.
Neil Bogart. Yes, he was the head of Columbia. Oh, sorry, no. Casablanca Records.
Yeah. And before that, it was at Buddha Records, which is also being labeled.
Yeah.
Very interesting little biopic on this label, because usually, they had Rocket Man, the story of Elton John.
Yeah, and
Bohemian Rhapsody,
Queen.
the story of Freddie Mercury and Queen. So this is about a producer, record label owner. It's probably less glamorous than the actual stars, but via this, all the stars attached to it includes bands like Kiss, Donna Summer, Gladys Knight, who worked with Village People, ended up on the label. Who else? Bill Withers, the Isley Brothers. People that he connected with before he started the label as well. But he actually started the label with Kiss as the only band.
Yes.
Because they had big ideas, but it didn't exactly go as planned.
And Casablanca actually gave some of the bigger record labels a run for their money.
Yeah, it was the biggest independent label at the time. And it was good soundtrack, but one thing that really bugged me about the movie, I think it was a bit long. It stretched out a bit in bits.
It took long to come to a end.
Yeah. But one big mistake the sound mixer did was he made it seem like some of the live sequences, especially when Kiss played, made it look like a shred. Now, a shred is when whoever the camera hits, that's all you hear. So you see the drummer, but must be played badly though. That's also the. So you see the guitar and someone goes bang bang, and then you see the vocalist and goes and the drummer and he goes gudoof gudoof. So that is, whenever the camera hits someone, they're like pushed up that person's instrument, and it was just too much. So
I didn't pick it up right away, but when you said it, I realized yes, it was.
They usually do it, but then just a little bit. But I think they just doubled up on the DBs when they did that, and it just I just couldn't help but
turned into a shred.
It felt like a freaking shred.
And also because it was obviously an impersonation of, obviously not the real band. So it gave it that extra little bit of maybe to comedy feeling.
Yeah, it was very unintentional, but unfortunately that's in my head. So
but stylistically, the movie was shot beautifully, and I think whoever did the wardrobe and the makeup and the hair.
Yeah, and the movie was directed by Neil Bogart's son.
Yes.
So it's a very personal thing. So I think some bits were a bit padded, but for the most part, it really tells a story well. And I grew up with Kiss. My brother Francois and I, we listened to it from like 1970, 79, 78. We started listening to Kiss, and so that's quite a few years. So Keith Chapini lived down the street. He was a big Kiss fan. And we started listening to his albums, and he sold us all his albums like piece by piece.
But the movie was bittersweet in some places. You can see that it was written, and someone that really was close to him had a big hand in it. It was sentimental in places, but the right kind of sentimental. And I was very shocked when I saw how young he passed.
It's crazy. And we also screened this as a closing show for our Sound on Screen Music Film Festival. But we're here to talk about Renfield.
Yes.
So let's do that. Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult.
Director Chris McKay.
Nicolas Cage playing Dracula.
And he looks a lot like Marilyn Manson.
On a bad day. I don't know how many good days Marilyn Manson has nowadays.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Fun.
I really enjoyed it.
It was a fun movie.
Yes.
Very fun comedy, horror, violence.
Ultra violence.
Exploding heads and blood and
like ripping your arm out and hitting you with the wet side kind of violence.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Yeah.
I think if it didn't have that, it would have been less of a movie.
No, it was definitely.
It had to be.
Yeah.
It had to be that. But basically, Nicholas Hoult plays Renfield.
Oh, and he's the new Hugh Grant.
Oh, that's not. I don't think that's. That's definitely not a compliment.
Oh no, I love Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant's a freaking old
fuck. Oh no, I love him.
I mean, for this role, he had to act like that. He's been in lots of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But
some of the horror movies he's been in is Warm Bodies, that zombie romantic comedy where he plays a zombie, and he started out with Hugh Grant.
Yes, amazing.
With About a Boy.
Yes.
When he was a little lighty. And it was also in Mad Max Fury Road, one of the crazy lighties, lots of lighties going around. And it was shot in South Africa, the young ones. Clinton worked on the effects for that.
Oh, okay.
And that as well. Yeah, he's been in some interesting movies.
Okay.
But yeah, Nicolas Cage, I think it was a good casting.
Definitely, no, he was brilliant.
As Dracula.
He was great.
And
actually, he was freaking brilliant.
That was good.
He was very good.
I like the way he's sort of coming back now from those low budget action movies. He was in that. I always forget the name of this movie. The weight of incredible talent. Anyway, but I think it started with Mandy with him.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, it started with The Colors Out of Space.
No, it was first Mandy.
Oh, was it first Mandy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mandy was a couple of years before that. Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
This one, old Nicholas is definitely swinging back. But he'll probably end up in some crappy ones as well. But
what's amazing for me is because I am the biggest fan of the Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one with Gary Oldman
and Nicolas Cage is Coppola's cousin.
That's right. So when I think Renfield, I picture Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Like instantly.
Yeah,
when I read the novel, when I read the novel after seeing the movie, I picture him.
Was Renfield more of a character in the novel than in the movie, or was he also?
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit more of a character in the novel. Yeah.
Because also with the whole way that Nosferatu took the Dracula story, Jonathan
Harker.
I think those were switched.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the Renfield character got diminished and Jonathan Harker was, because it was always, I'm not sure now, I can't remember.
When we watched Dracula, the old Universal one with Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, that was a very small part where that Renfield, small role.
But Renfield arrived there, not Jonathan. So it's I haven't read the book, so I must actually look into that to see how they got switched up for the movies. But what was very cool, since it's a Universal movie, they used those old, as the flashback, they used those old Dracula, Bela Lugosi Dracula scenes.
Oh yes.
And pasted them in.
Yeah, brilliant.
For the
I thought it was excellent
scene.
Yes.
It's very cool.
First I thought that they reshoot it like that.
Now they CGI'd them in.
And then I realized it has to be like afterwards because it was so authentic.
Yeah. But now basically it boils down to Renfield has been Dracula's servant for a couple of centuries, bringing him his dinner and
catching him his dinner.
Yeah. And Renfield ends up at a support group when he was actually trying to get some dinner for
I do
Dracula.
think the movie is very much a metaphor for people stuck in codependent, abusive relationships.
The toxic relationship thing, that's kind of like the main joke of the movie. Whereas where he wants to get out of this toxic relationship with his boss.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. It was crazy. It was funny. It was bloody. Yeah, I think it worked.
I thought it was a new take on a very old story.
Yeah.
A very interesting take on a very old story, and a nice angle and a nice perspective. And I do think the character Renfield deserves a little bit of the attention for a change. Because
Dracula has just been done in so many ways.
Yes. But I must say that Nicolas Cage put a beautiful, fresh, new spin on the character, which I enjoyed.
Kept some of the old things, but gave it the old Cage.
Yes.
The old Cage angle.
Which is I loved. It was so funny in spots. The violence was just like the kind of tongue-in-cheek violence that I enjoy in this sort of film. It's completely unrealistic. Yeah. Ash versus the Evil Dead kind of violence.
But it's also very much an action movie.
Yes. And
half the movie's an action movie.
Yeah, and I thought the fighting scenes were very well choreographed
and shot. No, it was very. There are very few faults. One thing where they could have, they missed a joke. One of the cops that got like a face full of a bag of coke hitting him in the face.
Yes.
They could have had like 2 seconds of him
like
reacting to
zwanging out. Yeah. He just said cocaine, which just in itself was funny.
Anyway, there are lots of jokes, lots of digs, lots of funny bits. But I think it was worth the wait. Because remember, about a year or so ago, there were pictures of, just out of the blue, here's a picture of Nicolas Cage playing Dracula in the movie Renfield. That's going to be interesting.
And Philip, a friend of ours, actually said tonight that the memes started a while ago with the Marilyn Manson, like this is Marilyn Manson on a bad day kind of a thing. But I never saw those memes.
Okay.
And I just immediately, when I saw Nicolas Cage, was like, oh man, shame. This is like, he looks like Marilyn Manson.
On a bad
Especially
day.
with like the very red lips in the one shot was quite funny.
Yeah, putting his face with the vampire teeth looks like when he has his
the grill in,
Anyway.
No, I really enjoyed it, and I can definitely recommend people go watch it. It's short and sweet, and it hits the right spots, and there are
very few lagging.
You laugh.
Lagging bits.
It was nice for a chance, or to watch a movie that's funny where everyone laughs at the right spots.
Yeah. Although the cinema was the cinema was very full, so we were right in front, all the way to the left.
Yeah, I must say.
It was a bit of a neck.
Yeah,
I've got a bit of a neck now.
I had to angle myself in a position because I was like looking into the frame of my specs.
Your glasses.
Yeah.
So you've also got a bit of a sore back. Oh well. The punishment we put ourselves through to enjoy movies and tell you about it.
Yeah. And Philip and Gert, thanks for paying our parking.
Hey.
Oh, sweet.
Some of the other actors in it, Awkwafina. I don't know. I know her name. I don't know. Is she a comedian?
Awkwafina?
She was the cop.
Who's the lady with the camel voice?
It's that. I think she's in.
And when I say camel, I mean cigarettes.
I always forget her name. Her name will now appear.
Yeah. Yeah, she's so.
Yeah, she's been in quite a few things since.
Yeah.
And she always, a camel throat.
She sounds like Nina Simone.
A camel cigarette throat is always very, very, very prominent.
Yeah.
But and I said, is it Benjamin Schwartz? He's very similar to his role in Parks and Recreation, where he's this little twat, always conniving, organizing stuff. He's like, is he supposed to be the cousin of? I forgot the actor's name.
Oh, now I know. Yes, now I know the person you're referring to.
They always had these schemes.
Yes. Yeah. They had this minimalist Google-like business that didn't do anything. Yeah.
No, he was quite funny, and he's very similar to that, but just violent and like a wannabe drug kingpin.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a total
But he's
asshole.
a mommy's boy.
But he did it well. So yeah, there's some criminal family gets involved, and it just gets it all gets crazy and more bloody. But it's a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
Okay, scoring. I always watch it and I don't really think about what I'm going to score this until we actually talk about it. But while we were sitting in the cinema, I was thinking, I could probably give this an 8, but then I backtracked again and thinking towards the end, it was like, okay, no, but it's more of a 7.
You know what? I was thinking a 7. I wanted to give it a 7.5 because the half point is for the ultra violence that I really enjoyed. But I'm also comfortable sitting on a 7.
Well, great minds always think alike.
Yes.
It's a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's fun.
It's not a masterpiece,
it's worth watching.
But it's fun. Yes.
Yeah. It's not you're not going to be disappointed. If you like Nicolas Cage, if you like vampire movies, if you like action movies, if you like gory movies, hey.
Yeah.
You're going to dig it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, do yourself a favor. Catch it in cinema. Let's try and keep the old cinema going, and not just let the superhero movies corner the theatrical market.
Yes.
But if you end up waiting for it to get online, it's
it's definitely worth watching. It's worth your time.
It's fun to watch it at the time that everyone else gets to see it instead of waiting, because sometimes people I guess there are no real spoilers in this or anything to worry about. So yeah, just take your time, watch it when you want to, but if you're in the mood for something fun in the cinema, do Renfield.
Yes.
It's a nice little addition to the vampire genre.
Yes.
Not sure what we'll be reviewing next time. If it'll be something new coming. I don't know what's
coming.
Evil Dead Rise. I haven't seen it on the release sheet for South Africa for cinema, so I don't know why that is. If no one has picked it up, or if it's just going to be not get a theatrical release in South Africa, which is a bit of a bastard, because I would love, because the Evil Dead remake got a theatrical release. We actually also did a special advanced screening for that when it came out. That was about 10 years ago already.
Sure.
So we will see what's coming up. Otherwise, we will review something that we watched recently. Recently, we watched the Firestarter, the new Firestarter. Lots of stuff that we can dig into to check out, and we will review it and we'll give it to you. And if you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, fuck, who cares? But yeah, leave a comment, like, subscribe,
Yes.
We'll love you forever. Catch you later.
Bye.
Ciao.